the one and only Louis Walsh. Louis, you're very welcome.
Good morning, Pat.
It's great to see you. Now, of course, I see you all the time these days.
And we text each other occasionally as well.
We do.
Yeah.
We keep in touch. Tell us, Ben Haenow.
The winner of X Factor.
A worthy winner?
Yeah, I thought he was going to win all along.
Really?
I really did. Even though everybody was talking about Fleur, I knew the girls were all going to vote for Ben. Even though we don't get the votes. But I knew he was getting a lot of votes from different groups.
You knew he was?
I did, yeah. And then Andrea was number 3. I thought it was a very, very good final this year.
Now, Andrea was the one. I mean, if that were The Voice, Andrea would win in spades.
Yeah, but I think being Italian, I don't think that really helped him, to be honest with you, because I think in England or in Ireland, it depends where you're from. People vote for you if you're from the north of England or the south of England. They generally get behind the axe.
Now, as Ollie Murs has proved, as One Direction have proven, you don't have to win to be a mega success.
That's absolutely true. One Direction, JLS. Lots of people have come from X Factor that haven't won it. They've had great careers. So I think the 3 of them are going to do really well. I know Ben's number 1 this week. He knocked Hometown off number 1 here.
Well, there's always a conspiracy theory about X Factor. People say
always.
Always.
Yeah.
Now, maybe the conspiracies are true. I don't know.
Well, I don't think so. No. I don't think any of the stories I hear are true, because the public are in charge and they vote for whoever they like most. Sometimes they don't get it right, Sometimes not the very best person wins. They obviously go for the personality and where you're from, and likability is very important.
Yeah. No, because going into the final, and we're all at home looking at the final, and we hear that Andrea will not be singing the song that Flair and Ben will be singing. That if he wins, he'll be singing another one.
It wouldn't have suited him, because that's a One Republic song.
I know that, but I was thinking, goodbye, Andrea,
Well, they had another song for him. He recorded a different song,
You know what I'm saying?
That song, it suited Ben more than Fleur as well.
It did too, absolutely.
But then Fleur was outstanding as just an all-round pop star, I suppose.
Where will this take them? I mean, they'll all be on the X Factor tour, so they actually get a lot of stage time.
Come to Dublin for Peter Aiken, in case he's listening. 2 nights at the O3. But anyway, I think 8 of them are on that, And I had 2 very good bands, Stereo Kicks and Only the Young. They're on the tour as well.
Yeah, now tell me about Stereo Kicks. Now, Louis.
I didn't pick 8. I wasn't in favour of 8, to be really honest.
There were 8 of them, and the way you get to know your lads, your hometown, and you say, eventually you get to know them.
It takes a bit of time.
But 8 of them.
8 was a lot of people, but Simon wanted to do something different. That was his idea. He's getting the full blame for that one. I thought 5 was enough.
Was he sabotaging you, do you think?
No, he wasn't. He wanted to do something different, because he has One Direction, and there's 5 in that group, and he wanted something different. And he was talking about K-pop, this Korean pop, these bands in Korea with like 10 and 12 people in them.
A lot of mouths to feed.
A lot of people to transport as well, and when you're dividing up the money between 8, obviously not as much as 5.
Yeah, and also you can have...
Boys know that.
You can have factions within the band.
Yeah, totally.
If you've got 8.
They got it right 2 or 3 weeks. They were really, really good, and they were good guys. But it was tough just to throw them all together, because they didn't know each other.
Yeah, and then there was one evening when an imposter got on stage. Like a total transfer.
I know.
Because there's so many Stereo Kicks out there. Sure, no one would know there's an extra one.
Cheryl said to me, "Is that Mark Owen?" I said, "No, that's not Mark Owen. It's somebody else." She thought it was Mark Owen, but there's only 3 in Take That, so they need the 3. But that was a bit scary. After that, there was a lot of heavy security all around X Factor, because that could have been anybody.
Now, tell us about your year. When does it all start, Louis? Because
X Factor? June. It starts in June, the auditions, Because we do all the auditions, we go to all the different cities. Then we do boot camp. Then we do judges' homes. Then there's the launch, and then there's the 10 weeks of the live shows. And it was a lot of work this year, because we were there literally 5 days a week. Simon was back.
Yeah.
He was cracking the whip, and he wanted the show to be bigger and better. So he spent a lot of money on the production values, the choreography, the style. It was a great musical show.
Yeah.
We'd very good acts as well, visiting acts and guest acts.
And when you say, he takes a much more hands-on interest because he's now back as a judge.
And it's his show.
Yeah. What difference does it make? I mean, how does he interfere?
Well, he wants, because the show was sold all around the world this year. You know, it was seen everywhere. The actual show that went out in the UK. So he wanted better lighting, better choreography, styling. We'd song meetings every Wednesday for like 3 hours. He was over every single thing, every light on that stage. Simon was in charge of.
So attention to detail.
Absolutely.
Now, when you went off with Tulisa for your...
To Bermuda.
To Bermuda.
Yeah.
A place I know well. It's a gorgeous place. Yeah. Kathy's from there, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's where she was born.
I didn't
Bermuda.
know that.
Yeah. But anyway, out of the sea... out of the sea comes Tulisa.
Looking different.
Looking like Ursula Andress.
Absolutely. That was the idea, yeah.
In Dr. No.
Yeah. And listen, I like her. She had a really tough year. She had a really bad time. She was set up by the fake Chic, as you all know. And she's a really nice girl. You know, her mother's from Churchtown. We had this conversation before, yeah. And her uncle was in Emmett Spiceland. He's the Byrne from Emmett Spiceland. That's her uncle, yeah.
So there's music in the blood?
Yeah, and the other part of her family was, remember Mungo Jerry?
Yeah.
That was the other part of the family. So she is very musical.
Well, she actually she stood in for Mel on the first night of the final.
Yeah, on the final. Yeah, because Mel has had a tough time. I think she's working too hard. I think she's taken on an awful lot of stuff.
Now, from your point of view, what's the toughest part of that whole cycle? Is it the June cycle when you're listening to rubbish a lot of the time? No.
The toughest part for me is when you bring 6 people to Bermuda and you have to pick 3. That's the toughest part.
And at this stage, you're getting to know them a bit.
You're getting to know them, you know their names, you know all about them, you know how much, you know what it means to them, and they're almost in sight of the live shows. So you have 6 people there on a holiday. 3 are going to get yes, and 3 are going to get no. That was the toughest part for me.
Now, do you all fly back together then?
No, I don't fly back with them. No, I don't want to fly back, especially with the nose bad. No. I stayed 2 days later. Yeah.
Yeah, because it would be deeply uncomfortable.
Yeah, it would be, and it is, and it's awful, and yeah, but that's the way the show works, and that's why people watch it. They watch it's voyeurism at its best, and they want to see, is he going to pick them? Is he going to pick her? And you can't give anything away, you know. You just have to do it a lot. And you only get one chance.
In terms of mistakes, you know, do you look back and say, why in God's name did we get rid of your man or your woman?
One person this year, yeah. One person.
Will you tell us who?
Paul Acaster, yeah. He was an amazing singer. He came last year, and
he was a smallish guy. He was dark hair,
lucky guy. Yeah.
And
I told him to go home and lose weight and get himself a bit of a personality, and he did. He lost a lot of weight, and he came back. He was an amazing singer, and he's the only person that I regret putting into deadlock.
And of course, they gave you a torrid time because you were the one who turned this brilliant talent down last year.
Yeah, of course.
Told him to go home, but lose a few
they
stone.
Don't know. I was in touch with him all year because I really think he's a brilliant singer. I think he's a brilliant soul singer, and I think he's the only person that I feel bad about.
Now, on the judging. I could nearly repeat your thing. You're great. You deserve to be on that stage.
Yeah. Well, what else am I going to say? I need some new lines, Pat. Give me some new lines.
I'll write you some new lines for next year.
Yeah, or you look like a pop star. I need some new lines because everybody's used my lines now, so I need some new lines.
Well, if they're stealing your lines, there's stories around that you steal their songs.
No, never. I'm very much involved in picking the songs, and Simon has me picking the songs for some of the other acts as well.
Is that right?
Who said I was robbing songs?
You know that you owe. I think it was Dermot O'Leary.
No,
said that you'd be hearing.
Oh yeah, he did on the Late Late Show. I heard that. Yeah. No, I never do. No, not at all. No, I'm very much involved in the songs. I remember I had a massive row years ago with Danny Minogue, like a proper row, because she picked the song. It was called "Rule the World" by Take That, and I wanted it for JLS and the semi-final, and she wouldn't give it back to me. And the boys were crying and everything, and she still wouldn't budge. Tough as nails, those Minogues.
Yeah, of course.
They really are.
Who'd you get on with best, by the way, of the ladies?
On the show?
Yeah.
On the girls? I would say, Sharon Osbourne I've been really good pals with Sharon. And Tulisa, you know? And Mel, I really like Mel this year.
She's very direct, isn't she?
She's very honest, and she'd say no, but that's what she was like. And Simon didn't know what she was going to say either on the live shows, and she said to me, I don't even know what I'm going to say myself, I just say it.
So she shoots from the hip.
She shoots from the hip, and she is Scary Spice, but I like her very much. What you see is what you get.
Yeah. What about Cheryl?
Cheryl, she's back.
Oh, well, I know. I've been watching her, yes. I've been enjoying Cheryl.
Cheryl's back, yeah. Yeah, listen, she's okay. I mean, she's fine. Listen, I get on with her pretty well. Not amazing. Not as much as I get on with the other girls, if I'm really honest with you.
Yeah. There was a bit of frost between herself and Simon, wasn't there, for a while? They seem to be needling each other.
It's a little bit of panto, though. They actually get on well, yeah. They're the two that always go out at the breaks to have a cigarette together.
She smokes?
Yeah.
Oh, we're all shocked.
Shock, horror, yeah.
Like, we know Simon smokes.
Yeah, no, they go out and they have a quick cigarette, and on all the ad breaks, they just get out and leave us.
Now, what about Simon the dad? Have you noticed a softening?
I think a little bit, yeah. I think a little bit. He definitely loves Eric, but he's also got 2 new dogs, and he adores them. He actually adores them. And they're all away on holidays at the moment in Barbados, yeah.
With the dogs?
Yeah, and Lauren.
Yeah, and Eric. Okay.
And the baby.
Yeah. Now, Eric, the $1 million question is, will you be back next year?
I don't know, Pat.
I mean,
the $1 million question is, I don't know. Because I've done it 11 years.
It is going to happen, isn't it? I mean,
the show is commissioned for 2 more years.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to happen for ITV. They might want to change around, to be honest with you. They might.
And yet part of the crack is provided by you. You see, there's that... you're not afraid of Simon.
I'm not afraid at all, because I know him really well. And we're actually really good friends, me and him.
Yeah.
And, I know him for 15, 16 years, because we did Westlife together. So I really know what he's about. And I know how to annoy him, how not to annoy him, and different things, Yeah. And we never mentioned the flares or the high heels,
Yeah. And what about any cosmetic matters that might be...
Oh, you mean up here?
Yeah.
For Simon, we don't mention that now.
I wasn't even thinking of anywhere else, I have to tell
you. No, but the thing about him is, Pat, what people don't know is he's actually really good fun. He's good fun when he's off camera, and I've never heard him be rude to anybody. And he never curses. I've never heard him use bad language. And he's good to his dogs, and he's good to his mother, so he's good to me.
What more would you want? Now, finally, speaking of talent, can I mention one name to you who will be on the X Factor tour? Stevie.
Oh, Stevie. He was such a nice guy off camera. He was exactly like he was on camera. He was a little bit naive, and that's why we liked him, He was probably the kind of the joke act, the Jedward, or the act that everybody's like, why are they on the show? But everybody watches for them, And we had Wagner as well, and people like that. People loved the acts like that.
Yeah, and he did do a competent...
And he was a really nice
Music
guy.
of the Night.
Yeah, that was good. That was his big dream, to just sing that on TV. That's all he wanted. But he was really nice guy.
I can see him being a sort of Bruce Forsyth if he...
Really?
Yeah, could
dancing?
No, not the dancing.
No, okay. Not dancing or singing.
No.
You mean
the repartee, yes.
A TV presenter,
Yeah.
Here?
Anyway, Louis, are you...
Prime time?
Prime time, yeah. There's a vacancy, I believe.
I heard that, too. And by the way, are you starting on New TV?
I've a documentary on New Year's Day, on the opening day of UTV Live, but my proper show will be happening around March, April time.
Are you doing something with Hosier?
Yes, Hosier features
brilliant.
in that, yeah.
That's brilliant, because I saw him on a talent show years ago with Caroline Desmond, and she managed him and looked after him ever since. Yeah. And he's a real talent.
He is one big talent.
He is. And he's global. He's got a Grammy nomination and everything.
And the extraordinary thing is, in spite of everything that's happened to him so fast, he is still one hell of a nice guy.
And down to earth, totally.
Down to earth,
totally.
absolutely.
The talent's definitely here, Pat. Look at Codaline as well. We've got all these new bands walking on cars, little green cars. There's so many great new acts here.
Well, Louis, thank you very much for our annual Christmas visit.
Annual. It doesn't seem like a year.
It doesn't seem like
What's
a year.
Another year?
There you go. Louis Walks, thank you very much. Back with the news after this.
The Pat Kenny Show.
With Energia. Energising thousands of new customers every month.